Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So today's video is going to be my top 10 favorite eyeshadow palettes of the year 2019, and I am super excited to film this video. I'm actually filming after a long time. I don't know if you can tell, I still have a sore throat, so I apologize for my voice, but I really wanted to do this video today, so I thought I will film it and I'll share with you which are my favorite eyeshadow palettes of this year. So if you guys are interested to find out, then please continue watching. Okay guys, let's get started with the video. I'm so glad I'm filming this video. I thought I will not be able to film since I was so sick the past few days, and I think I will be missing on filming out a couple of videos, so I will do those in Jan. But these are the important videos which I had to film. So I'm filming my eyeshadow palettes. I'm also filming my favorites video for the year of 2019, so those are coming soon as well, as are the other year-end videos which I have filmed, so do stay tuned. Let's talk about eyeshadow palettes in this video. My most favorite, if I have to choose one eyeshadow palette which is like my most favorite and I will highly recommend, is the ABH Jackie Aina palette. I love this palette and it is such an underrated palette because of all the releases ABH had recently. I think this palette kind of got sidelined, this one and also the Kali Bible one. I did not purchase the Kali Bible one because I was just super happy with what I purchased here and I really wanted to use it more. But this is the most favorite palette which I have from ABH this year, which I'm featuring in this video. I will highly recommend it. The color scheme of this palette is just super gorgeous. This is how this one looks like. I think I have shown this palette so many times on my channel and I feel like a broken record at this point. This is such a gorgeous palette. The color scheme is just so beautiful and a lot of unique sort of colors in this palette as well. Today I have this palette on my eyes, of course I had to, and I really like the look which I came up with, and this is something which I do wear quite a lot. I have this reddish color right here on my eyes and I really like how it looks on the eyes. And there are some beautiful duochrome sort of colors. There is a very pretty rose gold color and you obviously have the colorful mattes. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Like, it's a really stunning palette. I think Jackie Aina did a wonderful job with this palette. The quality is also really nice. If you're close to my skin tone, if you have tan skin tone and you're looking to get this one, I will highly recommend it. Go for it. It's a really nice palette. The second palette of this year, of course, has to be this one from Natasha Denona. Love this palette as well. It is such a beautiful, easy to work with palette and you can do so much with this palette. This is how this palette looks like. It's a warm tone palette, but to get a Natasha Denona palette at this price point was like really amazing for me, and the quality is just so beautiful. All the colors just blend superbly. The shimmers are also so pretty. There are two duochrome sort of colors. There is some purples in this palette as well. Like, this entire side is purple and you have some neutral tones. You have deeper shades for my skin tone. If you want more depth, you have this deeper plummy brown and you have a lot of yellows and oranges. I think this is also really like a staple palette. It is excellent for everyday use, and if you want to amp up your everyday look a little bit with some purples, some duochromes, that it's there in this palette as well. So love it. Love the packaging as well. Definitely top 10 quality for me. Okay, next I want to mention my Color Drain palettes of the year. There have been two releases this year. The Color Drain Power palette, which is the newer one, and the Color Drain Safari Rain palette. Both of these are just gorgeous palettes. The Safari Rain palette is more of a green, olive green sort of a color story, and I really love the color story of this palette. It's quite unique and all of the mattes, they are just so richly pigmented. They blend well and all of them work really well on my skin tone. And there are some really beautiful shimmer shades as well. Some orange, a bright gold, green, and a beautiful taupey shade right here It's absolutely beautiful, and I love the quality of color in shadows, and I love that they don't release too much. I think this year they had these two palettes only. I don't think they had any other releases, so it's nice that you are able to purchase and then enjoy the products. And this is the other palette which they had released, the color in and the power palette, and this is the color scheme of this palette. It's a purple pink palette. It's absolutely gorgeous. There are two duochrome kind of shades. There's a deeper eggplant purple color. There are some pinks, purples, deep colors, excellent for my skin tone. Especially if you're close to my skin tone, you're looking for like deep purples which are richly pigmented. This palette has those, and I love the size of these two palettes. Both of these are very compact. They have a nice sized mirror, so they are very travel friendly as well. And lately I've realized that I do prefer mirrors in my palette, especially when I'm traveling. I like that a palette has a mirror so that I can do my eye makeup quickly. So both of these palettes have mirrors. They are very compact, as I already mentioned, and I love the size. They are like very easy to handle. I don't really like big palettes too much. I like smaller palettes which are easier to hold. I don't have very strong hands. Like, I have very thin arms, and I don't have a lot of strength in my hands. So if I have to hold something for a really long time, my hands just get tired very easily. And I feel like these sort of palettes are just perfect. It's a cardboard material as well. It's quite lightweight, and they're just stunning. I just love both the palettes. I can't stop talking about Colourpop eyeshadow palettes, so I will highly recommend these two, the Safari Raine and the Power palette. Excellent quality palettes this year. By the way, I will list and link any of the videos which I have done with these palettes in the description box if you want more details. Moving on, let's talk about some neutral palettes of the year which I have really loved, and I'll highly recommend. I have purchased a few neutral palettes, like the Sunrise palette. I would say it's a more neutral palette with a little bit of a pop of color. But I have purchased some neutrals which are like out and out neutral palette. One of them is the Bh Sultry Palette. The packaging is just everything. It is so beautiful. I love the packaging. It has glitter all over it, but the glitter doesn't come off or anything, like maybe just a speck here and there, but it's holding on pretty well. These are the shadows which are in here. The Sultry Palette, really beautiful shadows in here. This is more of a neutral cool toned palette. I would say there isn't a lot of warmth. If you like a more warmer toned palette, you can go for the, which one is that? I completely forgot the name of Soft Glam. Yes, the Soft Glam palette, that is a little bit more warmer, but I really like the tones of this palette, and I love it for this deep dark brown over here, which is quite deep, and there's a very nice black in the palette. And you have this ton of shimmers, beautiful shimmers, especially this one, I think this one, like all of these shimmers, they are just super beautiful, and they will help you create a more neutral eye, but it will not look very like too boring or neutral. There will be some character to your eye look. So I really love the shimmer shadows in this palette, and I also really love the coral shade which is right here. I think it warms up the palette a little bit, especially if you have such like a deep palette. This one just brings in a little bit of color, little bit of fun. So I absolutely adore this palette. I think it's a great neutral palette if you're looking for something just neutral, cool toned, and if you like shimmers, you're looking for some good shimmers. This palette has some really nice tones in here, like muted golds, olive golds, rustic shimmers. Very nice. I love it. This one is my neutral pick of the year. Another neutral palette which I really enjoyed. I have to open it up a little bit carefully. It also has a very similar packaging as the ABH one. This is the Dose of Colors Daisy and Katie palette. This is of course not from this year, but I purchased it this year and I absolutely love it. I just used it this year and I think it's a beautiful, gorgeous, stunning palette. Look at the packaging. It's just so mesmerizing. This is how the packaging looks like. It has a shiny, this is not glitter, it's like a shiny cloth on top of the palette, and this is how the palette looks like. I won't be able to show you too much because I have injured one of my eyeshadows, which is this one. This blue is to die for. I sort of broke it, and it's a little lightly pressed in the pan as well, so you have to be a little bit careful with this blue, but it still works. I still have a lot left here, so I'm fine. And this blue is also really beautiful. I mean, the shimmers which are in here, they are just so gorgeous. They have that unique like a shift and a lot of dimension, so they may look like pretty basic in the palette, in the pan, but they have a nice dimension to them. Especially this green also. This is a olive golden green. It is so beautiful. I wear this color a lot, and this blue a lot as well. This is like a blue purple. It's stunning, and all of the mattes, they work beautifully on my skin tone. They may look like they are light in the pan, but they work really well on my skin tone. There is a deeper brown here. There is some like a berry, a lighter, warmer brown. So it's a very nice neutral palette. It's an everyday friendly palette. If you want to do a neutral look, you can do that with this palette, and if you want to amp up your look, you can do that with the beautiful shimmers which are in here. Love this color as well. This is a really pretty, like a burgundy plummy sort of a color. Lot of dimension, lot of shift, and the quality is amazing. Love the quality of the shadows. So that's another palette which I have really enjoyed this year. Okay, so I think I have spoken about 6 palettes so far. We have another 4 to go, 4 to 5. The next palettes, let me talk about some drugstore palettes. First of all, of course, in the drugstore category, we have to mention some Colourpop. This year, I did not really purchase too many Colourpop palettes, but whatever I have purchased, I have liked them. Like, I don't have major issues with any Colourpop palette. I think for the price, the quality is really good. Mattes are nice and pigmented. They are buildable. Some of them have fallout, but they are pretty workable, and they have very nice foiled shimmer shadows as well. But the one palette which I want to mention, which I absolutely loved, is this one, and I will highly recommend if you're looking for a purple palette, an affordable purple palette. This is an excellent quality. It's my pleasure palette from Colourpop, of course, and this is how the palette looks like. I have a video on this. I think if I have, I will definitely link. This is how the palette looks like. I think it's a really versatile purple palette, and in this palette alone there are 4 like very pretty duochrome type, shifty type shadows. This one, this one, this one, and also this one. This is one of my favorite colors from Colourpop. This is called Mr. Sandman and also Earth Shine. These are beautiful shadows. I also have them in singles. I think they are just super beautiful, and when you apply them on the eye, you just get that beautiful dimension on your eyelids. It looks stunning. There are a few mattes in the palette. I think the mattes are really nicely, like, well balanced, distributed. There is a deeper matte as well, so it will work for my skin tone. So overall, I think it's a really well thought out purple palette, and if you're close to my skin tone, I will highly recommend this purple palette. They have another purple palette which has come out recently, that is a little bit lighter in tone. I personally wouldn't go for that. I haven't purchased that. This is what I like. This is a very good purple palette for my skin tone, and I absolutely love it, so I had to mention in this video. Next, we have a Makeup Revolution palette. These are the find of the year. I want to mention this one specifically, the hybrid palette. These are called the Foil Frenzy palette, and this one specifically is the hybrid palette. I do have a video on them, so I will leave in the description box. This is how this palette looks like. The shades in this palette are super gorgeous, sultry, smoky, and they are just foiled, super foil. Just one swipe, you get so much of pigmentation. This one and also the other one which I have, they are like the find of the year. I really enjoy these Makeup Revolution palette. These are not like your typical powder shadows. These are sort of cream to powder formula, but they work really well. If you wear them for long hours, you might face some sort of creasing, but for me, for the most part, it has been okay. I haven't faced that much creasing as well, and even if I face, I just usually like press it down with my fingers and it's fine. Love the color story of this. You get a lot of like smoky neutral sort of tones, and it's great for like parties and events, even for everyday. Love the effect which this palette brings onto the eyes, so I definitely had to mention this one. And another drugstore palette which I want to mention in today's video is the one from Milani, which I've got pretty recently. I recently did a get ready with me, or did I do a review video? I completely forgot. But this is the Milani Gilded Rouge palette, I think. Gilded Rouge Hyperpigmented Eyeshadow palette. And this is how this one is. It is super gorgeous. It's such a bomb find at the drugstore. I was super surprised when I saw this in front of me. I had to pick it up, and I have used almost all the shades in this palette, and all the shades are really beautiful. The matte shades, however, are not like extremely pigmented. They are quite lightweight and fluffy and like very cloudy mattes. They are not extremely rich, but they work very well on the eyes. And in the tutorial also which I did, I mentioned the same thing. But the mattes blend really well. They are quite lightweight, so that's why they just blend super nicely. And the shimmers are excellent quality. They're just super foiled. And you also have some duochrome sort of colors here. These two right here, they have that unique shift which is very popular and in these days. Beautiful duochromes, and you have this very pretty taupey color and a really nice matte sort of a matte blue, which is quite nicely pigmented. And I wouldn't say these are like extremely rich mattes. They are sort of like pigmented satin matte formula. So I think it's nice. It's a really nice palette. You have some glitters as well, so it's very good for like parties. If you don't want to spend too much, you are just looking for a very nice colorful palette with some berries and blues and some duochromes and some glitters all thrown in the mix, but still, you know, making it to work. I think this palette works, and it's a beautiful palette. I will highly recommend it. The Milani Gilded Rouge palette, definitely a surprise for this year, and I was quite happy with the quality I purchased. All of the palettes which I'm showing you right now, I don't really have any major complaints with. I am quite happy with the palettes. And for example, the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, I did not include it in this list because I have a little bit of complaint with the palette that there is not enough depth for my skin tone, so I did not want to put it in this video. Although the palette is amazing, it's really nice, I love it, but still I feel like it would have been wrong if I had put it in this list, because there are other palettes which I feel are more well-rounded for my skin tone. For example, the Pat McGrath palette which I bought, the smaller 6-pan one. As I already mentioned, it's a really nice palette, but I'm a little disappointed because it's not special enough. So I'm just showing you all the palettes which just give me a lot of joy and are very special, have something unique about them. And this is another palette which I think is really unique. This is the Nabla Secret palette. Love the color story of the palette. As always, the packaging is also really nice. There's the mirror and everything. And love the color story most of all. This is a very unique sort of a blue which I don't have in my collection. All the mattes are beautiful in this palette. They are very nicely pigmented. They blend well. There is depth in the palette. There is a black, there is a deeper brown. Both of these help me to get a little bit more depth in my eye look. There is some beautiful duochrome sort of colors. This one, I think this one as well. They are really pretty duochrome sort of colors, and all the shimmers are just so pretty. In fact, this one as well is a little bit of a duochrome shade. All the shimmers are so pretty and they work so well together. The color scheme is such that the entire palette just works very beautifully together, and I feel inspired when I see this palette. I feel like doing so many looks, and it's just great. When I travel with this as well, I feel happy that I have this one and I can do something simple, or I can switch it up a little bit and do something more fun with the colors. So that's why the Nabla Secret palette is going to be my last pick for the best of 2019 eyeshadow palettes. Although I have a lot more palettes to show you guys which I purchased this year. I was going to do the entire collection video, but I think that I will do in January. I just have too many palettes and I don't think I will get time to film that video before I leave for Mumbai. So yeah, that's it guys. Those were my picks for this year. Let me know if you are surprised that something made the list and surprised that something didn't. I would love to know. Other than that, I really hope you enjoyed this video and you liked it. As always, if you have loved it, then please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're watching me for the first time, I really hope you'll consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again really soon in my next video. Bye.